Good morning, I'm Maurice Barratt and I've got another vlog for you in the series, The Little Word If. This one's taken from Matthew 10 verse 24 and 25. It's a serious one. Jesus said the disciple is not above his master nor the servant above his Lord. It's enough for the disciple that he be as his master and the servant as his Lord. And here's the if they've called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his own household? Serious. Beelzebub is a name for Satan, the prince of devils. And this is challenging. It's a challenging if, because we know that Jesus was called Beelzebub. And he used his power according to the Pharisees. Let me read it, Matthew 12:24. But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of devils. This means they'll call us the same, if we're his disciples, and not just religious followers. You know, suffering's the mark of a disciple, criticism, false accusation. It's the only conclusion to a holy life. Paul tells Timothy, a young minister, 2 Timothy 3:12, Yes, Timothy, and all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. Well, Jesus in his Sermon on the Mount gives the character of a disciple, the fruit of the Spirit. The Beatitudes, the 7 of them describing the character of a disciple, the character of Christ, it ends with peacemakers. But the last 2 Beatitudes are about the consequences of being like Christ. Matthew 5:10 and 12. 10 to 12. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. You'll reign with Christ. Blessed are you when men revile you and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. And then he tells us to rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Jesus is preparing his disciples for persecution in the last days. And I need to prepare you for persecution, to arm yourself with this mind. This is what Peter told believers, 1 Peter 4:1. For as much then as Christ has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves with the same mind, have that attitude, that disposition to suffer. For he that suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. And 1 Peter 2:21 he carries on. For even hereunto were you called. We're called to suffer, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps. It's very clear. So, challenging if, but my parting shot to you this morning is, are you prepared to suffer for Christ? Think about it. Busy day, going now. See you for the next vlog.